how do you see that for yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of the things that happened. I think it was last week that this happened. And I felt so good about myself rather than feeling like, oh my God, I did it again. I ordered the pizza. It's like, yeah, just that feeling of, I think one of the, I could list so many things that you've done for me, but one main thing is really seeing those alternatives, like I mentioned,
Mhm.
having not doing the extreme, like, oh, I'm not going to do this behavior because it's not realistic.
Mhm.
There's just no way that's going to happen. And I know that. So being able to kind of meet myself where I am, I
Mhm.
think I think that's the thing. And that feels so good.
Mhm.
I'm very into self-compassion and really taking care of myself, and I want that. It makes me feel good instead
Oh,
of letting my mind just, like, take over and control every situation.
yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the hard things that I felt during the, 6-week intensive was I saw a few people say, is it too much to ask that this voice just leaves me alone or stops saying these things to me?" And the truth is, it's kind of like asking the sky not to be blue. It's always gonna be blue. Like, clouds can get in the way, and maybe it can have a slightly different hue, but it's always gonna be a blue sky. That mind is always going to talk to you about habits and behaviors and try to get you back into your habits. Like, that's all it knows to do. And it's hard because a lot of times we don't want to really accept that. And when we won't accept it, we keep thinking, okay, this should change. This should get easier. This voice should stop talking to me. It's actually like you're making it even harder on yourself. In this, like for yourself, how did you slowly start to accept that this voice is gonna just keep saying, "Let's order pizza"? Like, how did that work for you?
Um, I would say one of the biggest things was the preparation. After I can't remember which class it was, that's when I started going, okay, so I've got to have some alternatives to these things because it's not just going to be, oh, I'm not going to have any dessert after dinner.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So what I did was I started to look up healthier recipes for desserts. And wow, there's a lot out there. And I love to cook, so that's, I feel very lucky that I love to cook.
Mhm.
And so I started doing these. I made these dates with sauteed pecans inside, and then in chocolate sauce that I made with date sugar instead of regular sugar. So there was no actual sugar in them except the dates.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, they were so delicious. They tasted like a chocolate turtle, and it like gives me that, what's the word? Is satiation a word?
Yeah.
um yeah, like it felt good. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I still have cake and ice cream, but then someone in the community actually brought up something called nice cream, which I had never heard of, made with bananas, like super healthy. So
Mhm.
I made that. So I've been having that quite a bit.
I love this. So what it sounds like for you is acceptance was tied into, okay, so like I'm going to fully accept this part of my mind's never going to shut up. It's going to always say get pizza. I've accepted that. So now I'm actually going to do the research and the legwork to find a better alternative for the pizza. I'm going to find a better alternative for the ice cream because I get that this really isn't going anywhere. And maybe what you're saying is that when you're not in that acceptance phase, like you're not willing to accept that this, like it's not just a knowledge issue. Like, okay, I hear that I have this going on. I see that this is happening. Now I just want it to go away, or I just want it to stop, or I just want myself to stop. When you finally accept, nope, this is going to keep drudging on. I'm going to keep responding the same way. So now I got to have a different outlet for that decision. That's a better step in the right direction. Then you do the legwork to actually start to pull all that together. Is that maybe how you might see it differently now?
Yeah, perfectly said.